Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Sarah Balascio. I'm a board certified art therapist at the Wellness Center. And this is the second in our series or our ongoing group called Drawing for Wellness. And you can just bring with you whatever materials you have for drawing. So it could be like I have here, I have just plain pencil. I have some scrounged up some chalk pastels, oil pastels, colored pencil, but whatever you can get your hands on, okay? So with that said, I need to read the like the waiver. I just want to make sure I have this on the right view. Okay, I think I have it on speaker view. Okay, do y'all just see me? Yes? Oh, okay. No, you don't just see me. What did I do? Did I do something wrong? We're good now? Okay. Okay, just had to do that. Sorry, not really very techy. Okay, so so let me read the waiver. Again, this is not very dangerous, but we have to read this every time. In order to make these classes as freely accessible and possible to our participants, we'll be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of that injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure you have moved nearby furniture or potential hazards. If you're participating in a yoga class or class that involves laying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice or care as needed. William & Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommend that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the advice of your healthcare provider before participating. We are not adding people after the start time because they would not hear the waiver or information about this recording. Okay, so with that said, we'll get started. There we go. I need to do one quick thing. Okay, so just to be clear, can people just confirm that it's only me on the screen? Because I think that's what's supposed to be happening. Can people give me a thumbs up if it's just me? Oh, good. Okay. Well, for some reason it's a participant, but it feels cool for me because it feels like I'm actually working with someone and not just talking to myself. But welcome everybody for coming. Today we're going to do a really cool drawing exercise that if some of you have come to my groups at William & Mary, the Wellness Center, I've done before. So they're called mandalas, and they are art in a circular form. I want to show you. Now let me try to do this screen share situation. Share screen. Let's see. Can I get at this? Here we go. So can people see my screen? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, cool. So I want to talk a little bit about mandalas. Mandalas are art in a circular shape, and they are that's the Sanskrit word for circle. Generally, they radiate out from the center in a symmetric pattern, but we're not going to worry about symmetry because we're in art therapy, and we are just making art to make it. We're not trying to have some sort of masterpiece or make it totally perfect, okay? But I do have some tips. If you are that type of person, I can give you some tips, but it's really just gonna be about the drawing and how you're feeling while you're drawing. And I'll keep going. Generally, they radiate out from the center and can be symmetric. They represent the interconnectedness and the wholeness of life. For example, we see them with tree rings. We see, the general shape of the earth, human cells, and people often feel a sense of calm and centering while they're doing mandalas. So let me turn this off, stop share, and go back. Okay, so can people write in the chat, what are other circular things that we might see around? Like I mentioned, tree rings or the shape of the earth. You can type it in the chat, but you know, they're everywhere, you'll notice. And so send me some chats and let me know. Oh, somebody said the sun, perfect, yeah. Any other things that are perfectly round and symmetrical that we see around? I also want to pull up another example for you guys while you're writing that to me. I want to show you a few examples. So if you do a simple Google search and you write mandala drawings or images, I want to show you. Oh, so someone said planets in the sky. Perfect. I love that. All right, let me go to screen share. I was thinking, what about flowers? You know, like your traditional like daisy flower, right? Starts in the center, radiates out with the petals. Now let me go to screen share and show you this. So these are some different examples of mandalas. I had it also here on my little handout that I was presenting, but these are really detailed, right? So we're not going to get overwhelmed with making them look perfect like that or anything, but instead what I want you to do is we're going to start by just a plain piece of paper, like I said, right? Where's the camera? There we go. Plain piece of paper. And I just have a bowl, just grabbed it from my kitchen. So it could be, you know, as large as your paper. It could be small. You could use, you know, say the bottom of your water or something like that. Or you could use a plate. Plates are the best. And then also, it doesn't have to be on white paper, I wanted to say. It's really fun to do them on black paper, and then the colored pencil or whatever medium you're using really is very, very bold. But let's see, make sure that y'all can see me. Can people see this? Good? Yes, thank you for that. I love the feedback, so helpful. So I'm just gonna trace my circle. Okay, now it's up to you, I want to say, if you want to, there we go, if you want to trace it and then draw it and then cut it out, and I'll show you the steps of how to draw it too. Or you can cut it out. This is one I started yesterday. You can cut it out and then draw it. That's kind of fun. It gives you, I think for some reason it feels better if you cut it out ahead of time. This is one I started yesterday. Ooh, I see a colander. People are grabbing all sorts of round things to trace. I love it. So let me grab my scissors. Oh, I forgot to highlight my dog, Betty. She was supposed to be in every video with me. Betty, she's sleeping on the couch, the little stinker. So I guess we won't bother her at this point. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut mine out. How were the scribble drawings last week? Did people end up doing them more with your family? It's a fun group activity. All right, so I'm cutting my circle. I see people are grabbing their scissors. Great. And I said at the start, but unfortunately, I'm sorry, it wasn't before we started recording, but that you would need something to draw with, something to draw on, and scissors. So sorry about that. Okay. So how are we doing? Let's cut out your circle, or you can wait till I'm done talking. Like I said, for this group each week, it will be recorded live and stored on the Virtual Wellness website. And so we're just recording it as speaker view with just me for the first half while I kind of like do some instruction. And then the second half, we'll turn it off of recording and be able to interact more. And I'll put on gallery view and we can kind of show our progress as we go. So the first step, this doesn't have to be anything super deep and meaningful, but if you want, you could put at the core or the center of your mandala maybe a certain shape that's meaningful to you. You don't have to think about it too much. Maybe you just say, no, I'm just going to start with a triangle or a heart. What did I put at the center of mine? Let's see. Looks like I started with a greenish circle. And so I'll start anew. So what I think I'm going to use today are just my colored pencils. I did want to say, if you love making art and you find it helpful, Michael's is doing home delivery right now, and they have free shipping and things like that. So, and they always have loads of coupons. All right, I'm going to start with this olive color. I don't know why I just grabbed my attention. Oh my gosh, it's literally called olive, and I just said that out of nowhere. Okay. All right, so I think I'll start my center with. Make sure, can you guys see from here? Good. All right, I think I'm going to start my center out with, this is kind of wild, a square. Oh, wait, sorry, forgot something. For those of us that like everything very, very neat and particular, this is not me, but some of us are like that, and that's fine too. What you're going to do is fold it in half, but just by like pinching. You don't need to make a full mark, okay? And then fold it again. So you have kind of like this coffee filter type triangle situation. I don't know how else to describe it. And so, oh, see, look at that. Gosh, look how far off I was with the actual center and where I started that square. Goodness. Okay, so I'm going to go right over it. I love mistakes. They're my favorite thing in art. So that, if you really like to make it perfect, go ahead and do that. You know, you could always flip it over too. Another option, a lot of people like to do the whole thing in pencil, and then you can add your color, you know, almost like a coloring page, color it in. And then some people also like to go over it with like fine point Sharpie and things. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm on camera for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and start with, I'm changing it up, because look, I had that. And now I'm gonna, I think, turn it into a diamond at the center. So the best thing about mistakes in art is that they always turn into other neat things. So see, I'm gonna go right over that and turn it into a diamond. So we'll start with that. Now, a fun thing to do on these mandalas is shading. I hope y'all can see me. My little name thing is like blocking my picture, but I think you can see. All right, so a fun thing to do is shading. So start really dark on the outside of your shape and maybe make it lighter as you go. I'll show you some examples and I'll explain how these mandalas work. But one thing it could be interesting for you to do is when you start, being that we're all going through all this stress of Corona and the social distancing and being inside, is to take a minute before you start and say, how do I feel right now? Maybe think of a couple different emotions, maybe pent up, maybe a little anxious, antsy, whatever you're feeling. And mandalas are great because people find them very calming. So you could see how you feel now, and then at the end you could say, oh, you know, I feel calmer now. So just a thought. So I'm starting mine with this big diamond shape, and I'll show it to you in a minute. So it's fun to press hard and light with the colored pencils and see how they make those various shades. So you start with one shape at the center, like I showed you my one I started yesterday. It's just a circle. From there, all I did was add purple dots, and then I connected those dots with a line. So I'm moving on to my next one, and I'm gonna request some information from y'all. You can type it in the chat. I have a olive diamond in the center. What do you think I should do next? Write it on the chat and tell me. What would be next? A shape I could do next. I started with a diamond. What could I put around it? Any ideas? Give me some ideas. I need your help. A circle. Okay, that's a challenge. Challenge accepted. I'm going to go into a circle. All right. I think I'm going to, oh my gosh, you guys, everyone's saying the same thing. Circle around it. Neat. All right, I'm going to use yellow and make lots of little circles around it. So let's see. A fun thing that we do in my regular art group too, that y'all could do at home, is to play some relaxing music in the background. I love doing that while I make art. So I put a bunch of yellow circles. Now I'm going to take a slightly darker shade and go around them so you can really see them outlined. And I'll show you this after I do this step. So far I have my diamond in the center and my yellow circles around. Thanks, guys. I love your tips. Now I'm gonna keep going. Maybe do it in rainbow color, or starting in the center and working your way out. That's up to you. But now I'm going to, if you can see on camera, make a wavy connecting line, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll hold it up when I'm done with this section. The thing that, here we go, these are really fun to do too. They kind of look like petals. Yeah. So the thing that's fun about these is you can just kind of go section by section. And I'll show you a tip after I finish this. So remember to play and have fun with the amount of pressure you apply. And I'll show you an example on this here. So see how I've now made it darker around the outside? This is really fun to do, to pick a shape and kind of press really hard and then fade to light. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I want to show you one more tip. Remember to notice how you felt at the start and then how you're doing at the end too. So today's April Fools. Did anybody get any fun tricks played on them? Right. And my kiddos, as a prank to my husband, said, Dad, do you want some hot coffee? When he was still in bed. And guess what they did? Brought up a mug full of ice cubes. Rascals. Let's see. Oh, Zoe, it's your birthday. Shout out. Happy birthday. Oh. Thank you. So you've always had probably this April Fool's thing for your birthday. I wonder if that's, people have played little jokes on you, but we don't have to get into it now. Anyway. So you can see the shading, how fun that is to press. Now I want to show you another thing. If you get to a certain point and you're like, I'm bored, fun thing about mandalas that you can do is take a break, and you can always come back to it. It's almost like working on a coloring page. The cool thing about mandalas is you just start in the center and you just work your way out, and you say, okay, I made some petals. Now I think I'm going to make a line connecting them all. Or you can make a circle and take a break. So that's what I want to show you, how to have a little white space, because that looks good too. So we'll do that next. Let me find just the right color though. All right, let's see. Need something right. I'm I'm gonna use a cup over here. So it's fun to use different sized circles. Like now I'm gonna take a slightly bigger one and make a circle around it. So I just took this random cup and I'll show you what's happening next. So now I have a bigger line outside and I could say, okay, now I'm gonna make a section and leave that part white. So I'll show you. I'm gonna trace around that circle I just drew. And make another one. So I'm just freehanding this, so it's not gonna look super symmetrical, but I'll show you what I mean by creating other sections within your mandala. Okay, so I could now say, okay, this ring I just made, I'm gonna draw something else inside of that. And that's a whole nother like area to fill in, right? Or you could say, now I'm gonna make something from here to here. So you can see how you can create different sections and almost work on it like they're separate drawings, you know? So I think what I'm gonna do is go over these lines I just drew really hard, pressing hard, and I'm gonna pick a different color for the inside of my purple ring. And I am gonna ask my participants out there, what color should I color in my purple ring I just made? I'm gonna use whatever color you all tell me. What do you think goes well with purple? It could be the complementary color of it, which is the opposite color on the coloring wheel. What color should I shade it in? Blue. Alrighty, here we go. Thank you. I love my helpers. This is fun. You know, with us all being far away from each other, this is just so fun to have the interaction with you all like this. So good suggestion. Here comes my blue. Thank you. So I'm going to fill this in. Oops. Ooh, the blue looks great. Good idea. So it's kind of like cool colors together. Cool colors are green, warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. Golds. So these two look really good together. And I think after I complete this, it's looking pretty good. So thank you for the tip. I love the blue inside the purple. And then maybe you draw some lines connecting this to this. And the fun thing about mandalas is that you just start at the center and work your way out, and there's no right and wrong. You're just doing shapes, okay, and lines that connect, and you go by section by section. It's really kind of a mindful activity where you're just saying, all right, next, after this red, I think I'll draw a line to connect to the petals, and I want to use orange. And then the next row. So this is the start of mandalas. Here's a couple of examples I started, and they're really fun. They're very relaxing, and it's just shapes and colors anyone can do. So with that said, I think what I will do is probably pause the recording, and we can do some more together and interact a little more together without having the recording. But again, thank you, everybody who's gonna view this later. Stay on the line, everybody else. I'm just gonna wrap up the recording now, but Drawing for Wellness, Mandalas, week 2. Thanks, guys.